Pakistan will take on Australia in one of the marquee events on the calendar, the MCG Boxing Day Test, coming up this week. Welcome to the Shiny Side. I'm your host, Fareez Shah, and we have once again Umair Qazi from Dubai. How's it going, Umair?
All well, Fareez. Thank you for having me again.
It's a pleasure always. And Pakistan came off a 300-run loss. A bit has happened since. What's your sentiment leading into Boxing Day?
Yeah, so Boxing Day Test is something that you look forward to all year pretty much, and it's not just in Australia, it happens in South Africa as well, and pretty much all the teams are playing. So I'm looking forward to the cricket. But as far as Pakistan is concerned, well, look, the loss was expected. But since then, there have been a few injuries, there have been a few replacements. There have been announcements that Shaheen may not play the third test, or there's confusion, maybe the second test. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a practice match in the middle as well. Some people got a good outing.
Yeah.
So, not expecting much from Pakistan, but hoping to watch the game all night.
It's one of those things, right? Like nothing has really happened since, but at the same time, there's been some odd information news coming out from the camp. So I guess to kick things off, we know Pakistan were again lost by over 300. We generally seem to hold down somewhat. We've discussed it at length in the review of the last game, but then we were 89 all out in the last game. If you look at the history now, we've lost 15 consecutive tests in Australia. It doesn't seem likely that trend is going to end this week, but let's see. If you look at the news coming out, like you mentioned, of course, we went in the tour with Naseem being out. Abrar missed the last test. It seems like he's also not available for this test. Khurram Shahzad, who debuted and who was fairly impressive for a debut, he's out of the tour with a stretch fracture of the rib, which is a bit unusual for a fast bowler so early. I mean, you can get the leg and the back, but rib. Then we have Noman Ali, who had flown in as a replacement from, I'm losing track for who now, actually, but I think
Noman was part of the squad.
He was, you're right. So he has now had an appendicitis surgery in Australia and in emergency, and he's also out of the tour now. So clearly, and then Shaheen's news, right? So there's been some vague news about him missing the third test, the second test. It just doesn't make sense to me because if he's injured, he shouldn't be playing at all. So I'm not sure where this resting comes in from. But
okay, so regarding Shaheen, I think the announcement was that he will be rested for the third test. It was announced before the second test is going to take place. So he played the practice game. He will play the second test, and he's going to rest the third test, which sort of makes sense given that you're going into the T20 series against New Zealand right after the third test, and Shaheen is captaining in T20 International for the first time in that series. I guess they just want him to be fresh for that. So he will play the two test matches in Australia. He's played one, will play the next. He's played the practice game, and then he's going to have a rest for about 2 weeks before the T20 series starts. So that's an okay decision, but then you've got all these injuries, so you maybe need your prime bowler. I don't know. So the bowling is already weak, and without all this.
Is the assumption the series will be lost? Is that what they're going with by then? So I don't know what this makes sense, right? But I guess
the series was lost even before we got to Australia.
But you know what I mean. But anyway, if you look at the MCG, right? So very quickly, if you look at the recent games there, Australia has won 6 of the last 10. The only 2 losses have been to India. They've only had 4 losses there this century, to be honest. The last time we won there was when Sarfaraz Nawaz won the game for us. So clearly it's been a while. Smith averages 84 there. Cummins averages 19 with the ball, but all the other Aussie bowlers average 30 plus. The last 3, there's been a bit of a pattern. So the last 3 games there, the team batting first has been bowled out for under 200 and went on to lose the game. And not just, it's not because Australia was bowling, but even when Australia played India there a couple of years ago, they batted first. They were 180 all out or so, then Rahane scored that 100 and they won the game. So there's a bit of a pattern there. But even though it's meant to be this kind of batting-friendly track, it seems like the teams batting first, won the toss, have batted first, have struggled, and actually gone on to lose the game. So interesting. Let's see if that trend continues or not. Any take on that, Umar?
No, I think the MCG pitch is such that, it's quite fresh on day one, and it helps the seamers quite a bit. And then it eases out over the next few days. So batting gets easier as the test match goes on. That's particular about the MCG, and I think that happens in the ODIs that we watch on that ground as well.
True.
So I think that's why the pattern. But I feel we'll see better scores in Perth. Maybe not in the first innings, but in the following innings for sure.
Okay. And I mean, if you look at the 2-day game we played in the middle, right? Just quickly, Pakistan batted first with 323. We had Saud Shakil retired at 70, so he looked good. Rizwan again looked good with, I think he made 70 odd as well. Agha Salman made another 50, Sarfaraz made 35. It seems like the track was rather docile, like the Canberra track perhaps. But we had Victoria, we could only get 4 wickets, but they made 270 in only 59 overs, right? So
Yeah.
again, I don't think it's given. We've probably got some more practice, but I don't think it's told us anything we don't already know as such.
Yeah, true. The best thing about this two-day game was that Sajid Khan captained Pakistan. Sajid Khan was not in the initial squad.
Yeah,
He was a Braz replacement who flew in.
correct.
He's captain, and fine, okay, you give him the captaincy for whatever reason, but in the second innings, he comes out to open the innings. This is amazing. Make me captain, I'll open.
Proper gully
Kamala,
cricket
right?
stuff.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I guess, and if you look at again, I mean, in terms of looking at the second test now, right? Like we had Ahmed Jamal was a top wicket taker. Khurram Shahzad, this poor guy's out. Shine only got 2 wickets. So the bowling doesn't really, like, I guess, raise a lot of confidence. If you look at the batting, I thought Imam, Abdullah, Babar, Saud looked like getting runs. Shan and Sarfaraz didn't really look like they were up to this level of the game. So how do you see the team shaping up?
Yeah, look, I think we'll go with the same top 6 or 7. I don't know if they'll play Rizwan ahead of Sarfaraz because I think Rizwan's keeping is probably superior as well. Sarfaraz missed a few chances. Rizwan also has a good knock in the side game. So I don't know if they'll do that, but I think your top 7 will pretty much be the same. I don't see any changes happening. I mean, and as you said, Imam, Abdullah, Shan, Babar, so they all look like scoring runs. Now, if they can face up to the likes of Cummins, Hazelwood, Stark,
Yeah.
that's what
I'm
we'll
just going
see.
to quickly put up the likely 11, right, since we're talking about this, right? So, like you
Yeah.
said, we probably don't expect the top 6 to change so much, but I guess the conversation is more about what happens after that, right? So, I
Yeah.
guess Sajid Khan will play. I mean, if you look at this the other way, does that make sense? I mean,
He's the only spinner in the squad
yeah.
now.
So he's
So
playing.
he has
Shaheen
to.
and Ahmed Jamal are probably in as well, right?
It seems like it, yes.
Yeah, as long as Shaheen is fit. So then I guess the question becomes about the Fahim slash Salman role and the Wasim Jr. slash Hassan Ali or anybody else for that matter. How do you see this
I
11
mean,
shaping up?
yeah, I think this is what it will be. I think Salman Agha will play ahead of Fahim because Pakistan wants that cushion in the batting.
Yeah,
And Wasim Jr., Hassan Ali could also be Mir Hamza.
true.
It'll be one of the three. I think Shaheen and Ahmed Jamal will play. Sajid Khan will play. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I feel maybe Rizwan plays ahead of Sarfaraz. Let's see.
I mean, it's one of those things where I feel like it's a change that needs to happen at some point. Whether they're going to make it
Yeah,
now after the series, but I feel like Rizwan could
yeah,
come in. And again,
yeah.
Rizwan scored a 95 odd in the last time. I think the last time we were there.
Hmm.
And Sarfaraz again really didn't look comfortable with the bat at all.
Yeah.
If you look at the Australian 11, I mean, there isn't a lot to talk about there. You probably expect them to go unchanged. There's no reason to bring in Scott Boland or somebody.
Yeah.
Scott Boland has a crazy record at the MCG and especially recent years, but I don't think he's going to be coming in for this game.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they want to rest Stark. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Stark
Only
was
a rest,
taking.
otherwise.
Yeah. I mean, I know once you made so many millions, I guess you can take it easy for a while and not play Test cricket. But
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
yeah, so I guess the question becomes, given what we spoke about the MCG and the side, if Pakistan wins the toss, do you feel like they should try and bowl given the conditions and what we spoke about with the recent history?
Yeah, look, if the conditions are anything like they've been, how they were over the past 3 seasons, then yes, for sure. Given that the side bowling first has won the games and first innings teams have gotten out cheaply, they should try and take advantage of that. Shaheen with the new ball in favorable conditions can be a handful, even if he's bowling in the 130s.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think they should be bold and try to do that.
And I guess one more thing, right? So I get this is the odds are stacked against Pakistan, but do you think 2 or 3 things need to happen early on in the game for Pakistan to be at least competitive towards the end? What do you think are the couple of things that really need to go away?
Win the toss, bowl first, bowl Australia out for under 200, and I think win the game.
I mean, that'll be something.
These
right?
are the 3 things that need to happen on day one.
That will set the game alive. And to be honest, like a Babar Azam 100 would be nice, right? For so many reasons.
Yeah, absolutely. I
Okay,
feel
good.
we may see 1 or 2 Pakistan centuries.
Yeah. Good stuff. I guess before we wrap up, very quickly, slightly off topic. Something happened in Australia with the Tom Curran incident. I think everyone's seen that, but for those of you who haven't, there was an incident where he was trying to practice and run on the pitch. The umpire stopped him, and he, for all intents and purposes, told the umpire to buzz off and was essentially running into him. It's probably, I mean, we see a lot of crap on cricket field, but this is probably one of the worst, I would say, the most misdemeanors I've seen on a cricket field. So, what's your comment on that?
It was extremely strange. I don't know what he was on, what he was thinking. And I think it's pretty clear that besides the captain and coach, I think no one is allowed in the pitch area.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what he was doing on the playing pitch. You practice on the practice pitches next to the main pitch. So I'm not sure what he was trying to do. Not sure what he was thinking. Not sure if he was aware of what he was doing. If it was an honest
It
mistake or just
almost seemed like the guy was. I mean, this is the kind of thing you do if you're kind of not in control, right? Because it's not just a
yeah,
little misdemeanor, is what I mean to say, which is quite odd, I thought.
absolutely. Yeah, very odd. Very
Okay,
strange.
cool.
But England
Before,
is doing strange things all season, all year,
yeah,
2023. And the funniest, not the funniest, but the most interesting stat I read was all of 2023, England has not won a Test series or a T20I series.
that's
I mean,
correct.
that pretty much sums up the year
Yeah,
for them.
yeah, yeah.
And
I
this
mean,
form
Tom Curran
turns,
hasn't played for England in a couple of years now, I feel like. So he's
but
obviously on
he's
the
from
fringe.
there.
Yeah,
He's on the fringes,
yeah.
and he's pretty much behaving like the rest of the England players are right now.
Cool. Okay, so before we wrap up, what's your prediction for tomorrow, for the Boxing Day test coming up?
Australia. Australia will. I
Let's,
don't see Pakistan winning. No
and who do
upset.
you see top
Definitely.
scoring for Pakistan?
Babar Azam.
Okay. Good stuff, Umair. If those of you watching, if you have a view on what 11 Pakistan should go with the ballers we need to have, please leave a comment, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and we'll be back after the game talking about see how Pakistan has done. In the meantime, stay tuned to the shiny side.